and the shir is taking place in Chelik Aleph of Hemshchaim Beis. Dibur Maschil Hamachasi Anim Rohom Ayin Daled and Omud Tov Nun Ches. So we were holding by the Yisron in the Asogya of the Nefesh Elokisa Philo, along by the Nefesh Abamis and the Nefesh Anafilo the Guf, which comes through the Avedis of the Neshama Lamata Davke. And we saw that a Inin of Riyah Chushias, or Asogya, first of all, Asogya Chushias, and that Asogya Chushias is so great that it brings to a Inyan which is Mamish de Malaria, Kilo, he sees it, Kipshute, Bechush Haria Hagashmias. And we saw some Dugmois, the Sanctus Achushias that's in the Inyan, when he looks at the whole Bria and he sees that it's Hoiv of Nifsad, and that the Hoivim v'Nivsadim, that something brings them into being. They don't come of their own. Ein Dover Isis Atma, Ve'ein Metziusei, Ve'ein Kiyumi Mitzad Atzmusei, and therefore it must be Misarve, and not only be Misave, but it must be Mishaveh, Derech Ein Areich, that's the Inim van the Tchuna of Yesh Mi'ayin, and all those Inyonim bederach havona vasoge chushias, because of course those are inyanim what the nefesh ativius observes them in the Elam HaGashmi, and they are misameis mitadi, they misames etzloi mitadi experience how it is in Elam HaGashmi kipshutei, and therefore the hasoge is a hasoga which is misameis al yedei the chushim of the guf, including the inyan ariyah, that he actually sees these inyanim, and that we saw the beer mibsori exa elaka. Mibsori was referring, I think, to the nefesh abamiyas, that mibsori exa elaka, the zazah hasoga, which is so close and shayach to the nefesh hativius and the guf, that it's possible for the nefesh habahamias to be makir as boiroi in the inyan, particularly v'isavas yesh mi'ayin bo'oid inyonim, and that can be in a oiva for echze, or that's a loshen targum for the inyan of riyah. So therefore we saw that it's not mamish riyah chushiyas, but we saw that it's a hasoge chushias, it's a hasoge which comes through the inyan of inyanim, which are nitan l'riyah alidei the chushim, and that leads to a hasoge which is korev l'riyah in its own right, and therefore he uses the expression echze elakar, sheheina ena roya mamishas amahus telekuz. If I'm ever nimta that the whole reason why it's not called riyah in Elokus Mamish, because it's only a hasoge, and that hasoge is bikar, like we saw throughout the whole piece, because hasoges are metzias adai. I mean, all of those arguments and all those inyonim which are backed by the chushim don't tell him about mahus Elokus, they only show him the inyan of metzias Elokus. But we got an interesting combination that in Metzias he has Soga Chushias in the Inyan of Metzias. And Mamela, that's the Inyan of Echze, which is Shaykh in the Nefesh Apam, yes, that it's not an Inyan from Riyas Amahus, it's only an Inyan from Riyah Chushias in Inyonim which strengthen the Soga Sametzias. And they bring to a Vados and a reaction to the inyonim of Yediyas HaMetzias, Ki'ilu he would have seen. In other words, that the Pu'ula, Benafshe HaBahamis is al derech v'di von Riyah. And therefore he said it's not Mamish Riyah, it's only the Inyan von Hasoga B'Yediyas HaMetzias, but it's a Hasoga Chushias Mamish Ki'ilu Roya Therefore, it's not just Stam Hasogas HaMetzias, it's Hasogas HaMetzias, to use the expression of a Gehoibna Oifen, that it comes close to the Inyan from Riyah, Chushias, through the Inyan of the experience of the Chushim in the factors which lead him to the Maskonas in Hasoga, albeit Hasogas HaMetzias. And so we saw that the Nefesh HaBahamis can then come Alidei, what is Mazachik the Nefesh HaBahamis. Therefore, he can come to a Hasor Elokish Ki'ilu in the Nefesh HaBahamis. And that's basically what we were beholding. And we saw that that's the Inyan of the Yuridus HaNeshama Lamata, the Neshama Elokish comes Lamata, as well on the famous Loshen in Tanya, she doesn't come down, L'tzerech Atzmo, the Ein HaTzerech Birur, Ein HaTzerech Aliyah Mitzadetzem Atzmusa. Or she comes down, Be'ike for the Aveda with the Nefesh HaBahamis, and now the Rebbe says, what is that Inyan? B'shvil Ma, the Neshama Elokish, how would we define and sum up in a few words the whole shlichus of the Nefesh Elokish? Lamata ato horeisa lodas, that you referring to the MCU of the Mensch, not referring here to Elokus. No, ato meaning the Nefesh Elokish. Your inyan was to show the inyan of das to the Nefesh HaBahamis. These galas anishama lamata who rak laharis or horeisa. You came down to show and illustrate. La'ene bosa hagufani ek shavaya Eloi hu Elokim. La'ene bosa hagufani. Well, that means the Riyah Kushis, what there can be in these inyonim, even though it's not Riyah Mahus, of its Riyah Kushis in these inyonim, Hasogas HaMetzias. And that's why the Nefesh HaBahamis came down, that's why Nefesh Elokish came down into the body, Laharis, to show and to indicate. Yeah, it's an amazing touch. Ator, meaning you, your MCU, you're there, Kidei Laharis or Ladas, yeah, Ki Avaya Hu Eli. Kim, and who is that? To the Bosa Hagufni. He came to show it to the Nefesh HaBahamis and how he shied to the Bosa Hagufni. V'gam Loda, said the Rebbe Loshen Shvira, as is one on, put down in many Jerusalem, and it says, Okamei Vayoidu Bahem Anshe Sukkes, but it's written there by the Dean from the Piglegish Pegivo in Sefer Shaftim dot. Yedu Behem is a Loshen breaking, they broke them apart or attacked them heavily, or Filonochazal Hinyonim. Yedu Behem Anshi Sukkes, Shalidei Se, Nase Hashvira, the Chumias, Nefesh HaBahamis. Ata Horeisa, Lodas, that your tafkid as a Nefesh Elokish is to come into the body, Laharis, to show her and illustrate to her, or that inyan Aki Avaya Hu Elokim, and that brings Lodas, or that brings to a Shvira, not in the Nefesh HaBahamis, because that's not the Kavona. Stam Avek Pater in the Nefesh HaBahamis, that's not the Kavona. Ella, to break the Chumlias of the Nefesh HaBahamis, al deravidinim from breaking the how do you call it, the nut, the eggs, when you break the skin or the outer shell, then it's discovered the pre-hoamiti. So there has to be the breakage of the dvarim hamoinim in the Nefesh HaBahamis. Or not cholila, the etzem breaking of the Nefesh HaBahamis per se. Amamela ato horeisa alidei those inyonim lodas. Not only das ben loshen gilui pnimi or pnimius asoge, but also breakage of the manias mitzad the Nefesh HaBahamis. The kasha etzloi mishamid inin esav sheish miyayin va'aktus Hashem. Well, that's ki Avaya Hu Elokim. V'chein kol inyone Eloki b'chinas Riyah Chushiyas, when he sees the mami, yeah, with his inyonim from Riyah, Ari hu misbatel be'etzema, who say, well, that causes the Nefesh HaBahamis to be broken be'etzema mahusay. And when we say misbatel, we don't mean broken, that's really not the right translation. But he's broken in the sense that he becomes botel. And once he becomes botel, then he can turn all of his koiches into the into the Kivanu Amiti, it's brought down in Pasha Kruchas. When I get to the Sreifa Sapora, that the whole idea is to get to the pshitas of what we call the koyach hamisave, or koyach hamisave with Aleph, to the koyach hamisave. Once you reach the pshitas, and you take away all the begodim tzoyim and all the levushim aloi toivim, aloi nakim from the koyach hamisave, but then you get to a pshitas, and it's possible to turn all those inyonim in the nefesh habahamis l'toi. What you misbatel be'etzem mahusai, meaning that he loses all the mashiach and the levushim zayna in dvarim of chumiyas elam hazeh, o kemoi ha'egoi sheshoivim ha'klipa miskala ha'pri, when you break the klippa, arum, the egois, then you have the etzem pri, which is the egois betoichoi. When we see that shvira means the union of beetle, causing a beetle and a complete shinui, kivun, as you might say, that he goes dakili inyonim matevim, so that's the nefesh elokis, beprinus riyas hamahus mamish. Well, we see a repetition of what he said earlier, that the yisur that comes to the nefesh elokis through bringing a fila to the nefesh habahamis, the inyan of Riyah Chushis in Sogas HaMatzias al Chaponim, not emes a Riyah Mamish, but al Chaponim Riyah Chushis in Sogas HaMatzias, ali deizeh, you kilu take away the whole hell of Esther, lagabi the nefesh elokis of the nefesh habahamis. He's no longer Maili Mumastir, but all of his levushim tzoyim. Wherever it's possible for the nefesh elokis to see Elokus mamish, how she's met to see Elokus better in Yonah, and like she saw Lamayla Elokus, well, that's even for Riyas Amahus mami. So at the day what we take away that klippas egois, then it becomes miskala and misamet in the misames in the nefesh elokis are the inyan from Riyah Chushias mamish. In other words, in the inyan from Riyas Amah, Ari koze urach asoge levad. Daino asoge muchshis beinyan eloki. Avaloi b'chinas Riyah mamish be'etzem elokus. V'ali deizeh nasa b'neshama b'chinas Riyah mamish b'mahus elokus. In other words, all of we've been talking up to now, Ta'ara Yisrael Das, and Delin Yonim, in the nefesh habahamis and the aliyah and shvira v'chulei of the nefesh habahamis, all of that is Riyah Chushias in Sogas HaMatzias. And it's not Riyah Mamish in Elokus. It's Riyah Chushias in Soga, which is Sogas HaMatzias. However, Ali Deiseh, that takes away the helim of the nefesh habahamis, and then it's mishkala the etzem avoda, the nefesh elokis mitzad atzmo, and then she's able to see mamish riyas hamahus in elokus. Well, that's in Yonah, and that's how we do so. Omnom, he says gamba neshama, yeah, Ali Deiseh yisrun godel gabi kamosh oiser beganei. So you might say, well, you know, Chosano, she had Riyas Hamahus in Gan Eden, comes all the way down, becomes Ato Horeis Olodah, she comes to show the Nefesh habahamis, and as they say, Martin's Chlop, a good long stickel arbeit, and then all of a sudden the Nefesh elokis goes back to how she was before. She sees the infant Riyas Hamahus, or that she had Belavach in Gan Eden. So there was we can't say that it would be just going back on a chazor to the same Riyas Hamahus. Ela omnom means a from amitias advorim be'emes lamitoy gam neshama yeh alidei ze yisrun godel gabi k'moy shoyes began Eden shoy bo gam kein Riyas Hamahus harei mikol mokim rak b'chinas ha'ora livod. It's only in from ha'ora me'elokut. Like it's brought down that in Gan Eden it's a ziv from the inyan from elokus, and a ziv and a horrible from Malchus Tatzilas, and so the mahus is in the mahus aziv, and so in that gufa we said it is from Bina Eshu Malchus, And that Bina is already shouted in from Gimel Rishonais, Kesef Chochma Bina, or Chochma Bina Das, but that's the Madrege which is Mishkala in Gan Eden. So we could say that the Avriyas Amahus is a Yin from Ziv, or it's a Ziv from Gimel Rishonais. It's quite a high Madrege in the Yin of the Hasogas Haziv, Mahus Haziv. It's only a Haziv, but in that Kufa a Yin from Mahus. He said the Gam Gimel Rishonais ain't Bechinas Atzmas Erein. So even that high Madrege of her Soga, how it is in Gan Eden, can't be compared to the Indian of Atzmius Erein Seifim. So, Kanoida, it's only a Ziv Bilvad. Validei Yiridos Alamata, Shepoeles Laharuis, to show and to indicate La Nefesh Abamius, Lahakir as Boiro, Alidei Zev, Anishoma, Upkinas Rias Amahus, Beprinas Mahusev Atzmus, or Mahus Atzmus, Ein Sei. Behind of Beprinas Pnimius Chokmas, Timoa, Shazeh Pnimius Ati. Philip. And remember, the Neshama had Rias Amahus in Gan Eden, only in Amahus of a Ziv, at the Gimel Rishemes, Eishahem Meirim Alidei Malchus. You do it. And in that Gufa, only a Ziv is Nimshach Alidei Chitonius Amalchus into Gan Eden. And remember, that's a Yin from Hasogas Mahus, but only Mahus Aziv, Yin from Rias Amahus. He said, down here, the Neshama Alidei, which he gets rid of that clipper, the Nefesh Abami is, and he's no longer Mavalbu, on the contrary, he's also Nimshach Inyonim Teivim, Inyon Elakus, then she comes to her in from Rias Amahus, in Mahus V'atzm saying, say, what does it mean from Pnimius Atik? Well, that's what the meaning from the Ein Liosid, because it's put down the Kisvi Arizal. The Arizal says that the Asoga Liosid will be a Pnimius Atik. So that's how they say that's not bad. That's not bad going for her to reach as in the Yin from Asoga. So the Rebbe said, "V'u shapele," or that's what we were learning before in the Yin from Oisefele. Oh, that's the Yin Shapele Nasa Elif. We put down from the Zohar Kodesh. He learns that in the Pele, a Pele becomes Aleph. Aleph is the Yin from Limud. In other words, that the Yin from Pele itself reveals itself in the form of a Gilui, in the form of a Soga. That's the Yin from Limud. Yeah, Avaloi Bechinas Limud the Asoga. Keim Bechinas Riyasama. Is it not just Amasoga? But in from Rias Amahus. In other words, it's like we've been learning the whole time here, that in the Yin of Chochmas Timoa, being as he is a Atzmi, therefore he's just like Snei Ponim Shaloise Amahus. And we saw that the Tzir of Chochmas Timoa is not even from Levush Amalim, but just that he's Azam in Atzmi, what he's Keilu brings the Yin from the Pnimius Atik into his Tzir that he's able to, as it were, be nimshach lamata beli shakol yis battle mamish. Over once you work with that tzir and you get to the pnimius and the amitias of that tzir, then you get the whole in and kamosha who, and like we saw a few of the Inif and the Golas, also that's the Inif and the Hester that there isn't that tzir. Yeah, what the Inif and Chochma we saw can be milim on that tzir. And that's not an Inif and Levush Amalim, no, that's the etzim Inyan that hides itself within the Tzir of Chochmah. Of really it's there. And all you got to do is find a way to reveal it. And he said that's the Inyan of working with the Levush Al Pipnim and Satorah, V'chula, we saw about Arichas Inyan. So he says the same thing, that since the Inyan Pnimisatik is really Nase Aleph, it's really Nase itself, through the Inyan the Pele that it's Kilo Lamaila Mea Sogas Anivroim Kamoishahu over Alidei, what the Pele becomes a Inyan from Aleph, a Inyan from Limud, or then a child that the Inyan from the Asoga can be Riyasama, who's in the Inyan from Pnimisatik Mamish, and that happens in the Neshama affiliate. Afilu lefnei Liosid Love. So Kuntais agora a Pele de Gemara. Kuntais a Yid can be walking around, he can have mamish behedikot, Karav Luria Chushi is mamish in Elikut. So that's what we brought in the last shiur. But the Alter Rebbe brings it in Likutei Torah. He brings over there the story with the Arizal and Parsha Bolok Bilom on the Shabbos afternoon that the Arizal saw. He said to him, Aisi Tzorik Ladaber B'Mersha Aisi Akshav Aisi Tzorik Ladaber Shmoinim Samach or Pei Shona. And even then he wouldn't be able to get over what he saw right now. And so the Alter Rebbe is mazbeh. Why would it take him Samach or Pei Shona? It's the Chamayontik. It's a ganze lifetime for a Mensch halt in ein reden, wird nicht kennen. So der Alter Rebbe ist eine von Re'iyah. It's eine von Re'iyah, Mamish. Der Pfarrer, das ist Re'iyah Sama Mahut. The Rebbe says in the famous Sikha, the Rebbe Nachman Shapesa, which here was the Rebbe said, although it wasn't mamish real chushi as kipshuta in Mahus, because it was still in Ha'evan that he said if I would try and talk, it would tell you, in other words, still in Ha'evan for Ruchnias, Rias Ein Haseichel Be'ezu Ha'evan, it wasn't mamish real chushi as kipshuta, so that's what the Neshama can have now. It's still in from Riyas HaMahus, but not Legamre. And Liyosi, that's going to be Mamish Riyah Chushiyas Kipshutai. He said, Vezo Sheli Yamois HaMashiach. Once it will be discussed at the Melech HaMashiach, Lo Yilamdu Ish Esrei Ehu. It won't be necessary for one man to teach her. Anadye Kizeh Shayeh Bechinas HaSogas HaMetziyah. When you just learning about Inyonim, the Misha Yesa Malumad, he teaches the one who's less Malumad. Over where everybody will see Aval Bariyas Hamahus and Riyah Chushiyas in the Mahus Mamish, Einu Shaykh Limud, K'moish Kosev Makim, Ache, because everybody will just see it, Mamish, Bariyah, Behadikot, Einei, Basa, Kipshuta. And if I won't be shy of teaching anybody anything. So yeah, limud de Moshiach sheyare b'chinas mahusa adov. So it's not that Moshiach will teach you hasogas and he'll be mafli and hasogas and all. So we'll see at the end. Maybe that's not the end of hasoga altogether. But from him, b'shlav mesuyim or b'oifim mesuyim, it won't be necessary the indifferent hasoga the way we know what hasoga is. Because he will show you in an even from Riyah, and his in will be just to point out to the whole cloud, even from Riyah, everybody will know, and it won't be shaykh anymore. Lo yiramdu ish esrei esreyehu. So you might say at the Chivzai, if everyone just walk around, everybody would just be einochanami. And so einochanami, as they would take it out. But let's run on the famous Indian and the famous Diuk. In Kamayim Layam Machasim, the Rambam's Messiah, the whole Mishnah Torah with the Mola Horas Deya, Kamayim Layam Machasim, that's one on it. The water doesn't cover the sea with the same depths, Bekolam HaKoimes. Well, there's a zikr that the Mayim covers everybody, that everybody will be batu and everybody will have all the milas that will be there. But some will have it more and some will have it, even from less. Because it'll be dependent a little bit on what you heard of it and what you'd ufgiton, and what's far as gulas, and what's far if you work for yourself, bezeha oilam, bezeha tkufa, bezeha inim, v'chuli. There'll be people that they got as our rear that they'll be still able to say, listen, you have to come in on my online or whatever it is. There you got to get on my particular gal or whatever, and you'll see nochazal chinyonim that you haven't seen beklal yet. It's like you go into these big aquariums. First we see the little things, and then you can see later. You can cook around and then the ganze depths and the ganze chweistot mitzvot. There will be, but it won't be an oven from limud. It won't be an oven. This will be an oven from gilui ha're'iyah b'oven naila b'yoysa b'yoysa. But mamish from limud be nogel inyan zeh. There won't be. But we're going to see at the end. Efshar there'll still be afsar limud. Even mufla b'ma'id me. Al upon him, it's at that oven, however, it'll be a in from Ria Bamahus, Adova Mamish Ria Hushias, Bamahus, and that the Neshama will have an Aliyah Gedola compared to how she was in Gan Ein, because in Gan Ein was only in Mahus Aziv, it was albeit Gimel Rishonis of only Aziv and the Gimel Rishonis, and here it'll be Mamish Achmias Ein Safe Mamish, because the Chio HaKilo HaMagbil of Chok Mishtima will be Mishtana Be'etzim Inyan, and there'll be Mishkala Pnimius Atik, and Pnimius Atik will be the beginning, as I said, and that'll be the start, and also again, Michael El Choyo, praise Hashem. So he says, וזהו מה שכופר זה בזויה כי עשיסה 1000 שפלא נעשה 1000.
תורה חדשה מאיתי תצא.
Torah
חדשה מאיתי תצא.
Yeah, Torah חדשה.
So going to be just Ria.
Yeah. Over in that gufa, it'll be Ria Mamish, Ria Samahus. Keep sure, Ria Mahus Ayinayim Agashmi. And that's what I'm saying, that there'll be people that have got bigger periscopes and bigger inyonim, and you'll still need to be makabel from them. But not limud in the normal. But we're going to see at the end there'll be another type of limud. It's under Zach, and that we'll have to have a little bit of patience to wait after Chag Matan Torah Seinu, and like not Chag Matan Torah Seinu when we'll be able to hold by this Indian, and we have to hope that we'll be holding by it even before. We have to hope that we'll be holding by it longer. וזהו מה שכוסף בזויה כי עשיסה פלא, he says 1000, כי עשיסה 1000, סליחה, שעשיסה א', שפלא נעשה א', the Pasuk says שעשיסה פלא, אבל זה התאי שעשיסה א', that the פלא נעשה א', והעניין דהינה הנשמה היא מפנימיס הכלים, not just from חיתוניס הכלים like the Malachim, like the other Nevi'im, no, she's from Pnimius HaKeilim. In other words, from how the Keilim are Mamish Miyuchad with Elakus Tachlis, the Alkain he Elakus be Etem, even how she's Yered La Teik Biyah. Hasagosa La Maila, Hu Mahusala. But even though when she comes down, no matter it changes, but not in the Etzem Pnimis, but the Nefesh Elokis Aveda. V'lochin Mekoyima began Eden B'chinas Atzilas. In other words, it's not Atzilas Mamish, that Atzilas that's Meya in Biyah. V'yod Lamata Laharis La Nefesh Abami. The whole thing was to show and to be married to the Nefesh Abami is Gilui Erein. Say. והוא ביסבס היש מאין אלוקי שמוסה גם בנפש הבאמיס ובסוגה מוכשיאס, because he sees that. וכן בכל הסוגה אלוקיס ממושל גשמי שבאמס המושל הוא הנמשל. Like we were masbir that normally when a mensch talks a moshel with a nimshul, then the gabi him and the mekabel, the moshel is a dover zah and the nimshul is another Indian, right? The two separate Inyonim, and tzrichim siyata dishmaya to come from the dover zah to the dover amiti. Oh, but in the bria, everything saves all Inyonim is Dr. Eivish Saleh. And remember, you taking a moshel, from easy Indian. In Oilam afilo, or afilo easy Indian by Istaushus or Begilei Elakus, as a moshel of another Indian in Elakus Be'emes, in Madregas Nailes, then it's all one and the same thing. I mean, the moshel is also Elakus Pictus Evida Nimshal. Therefore, when you see in Gashmi a certain Inyonim and you use them as a moshel, you're really seeing Elakus even in the moshel. Therefore, the moshel helps you and assists you to go into Ria Amiti is Chushiyas, even though it's not Ria Samahus. Zeo mipsori dahainu hagashmi, and like he teaches, Echse elaka benefesh apamiyas. Is who b'chinas soga Chushiyas. So here he teaches the psori means the etzem elam hagashmi, the moshel. Etzem elam hagashmi. And Echse elaka, we saw, is referring to the nefesh apamiyas, and that's by him asogas amitzias, but in the chushim hagashmi, even into the chush ariyah. Over Neshama, it comes into eine von Riyas Amahus. Zeh horeis ol das, loshen shvira, the nefesh habamish, al yidei zeh, shvira the nefesh habamish, slicha, shal yidei zeh mishgal Riyas Amahus the Neshama, over Yesa mikamoisha hi began Eden, shezeh Riyas Mahus Elokus, mamish Mahus eviat. Atzmuz, many mahus, not just the mahus of whatever you're looking at, but Riyas HaMahus, Mamishim Mahus Elokus Go. So the Rebbe says, V'zehu ki ayin ba'ayin yiru. Yeah, well, this is the famous lesson in Yeshaya Novi, ki ayin ba'ayin yiru, b'shuv Hashem tzion. When the Eibishter will come back to tzion, then ayin ba'ayin yiru. So most of the Meforshim run over there that ayin ba'ayin is an expression. In Lashon Kodesh, meaning verily everybody will see. You know, ayin ba'ayin means each ayin will look at the other ayin, every ayin will help the other ayin, and everybody will see. It'll be in Klali Adini from Riyah. In other words, a way of talking, ayin ba'ayin. Like we say in Pasha Baloiska, next, not this Pasha, but the one after, state ayin ba'ayin ro'eh es anancho aleinu. We state in the midbar that anancho ayin ba'ayin yireh anancho asher aleinu, משהו כזה. So pasuk balo is. So once again we see the lashon ayin ba'ayin yireh, or that's in from verily seeing, you know, for hadgoshat in a riyah. However, in many Jewish chassidus we teach it as ayin ba'ayin yiru. It means like two madregas in re'iyah. The one in re'iyah will be mishtalev and misachit with another inyan. One inyan will be oila into another inyan and be moisif into that other inyan. So that's what he says. Ki ayin ba'ayin yiru beis einayim halolu. I'm sorry. Yeah. So he says it. Beis einayim halolu. So which are they? What are they? The two that we've spoken about. The Riyah and the Chushiyas in Asogas HaMatziyas, and later the Riyah Mahusa, the Nefesh Elokis, the Lasid Lovi, they're all going to come together. Ha'alev, yeah, ayin de makse haguf. Because we saw it's only echazeh. It's not mamish etzem hariyah in Mahus Elokus. It's makse haguf and Nefesh HaBamiyas, Bizbonines, Ais Havas Yesh Mi'ayinu Kahai Gavna, Befinas Hasoga Matthias, meaning Hasogas Matthias Chushiyas. Canal. Ayin Abais, who ayin, yeah, Riyas HaNeshama, meaning Nefesh Elokis, Befinas Riyas HaMahus, Mahus Ve'atzmas Ein Tzei Porach, who, like we saw in Pnimis Atik, Vafil L'Mayla Mizeh. Amamil, the two einayim are going to sort of link one into the other. The ayin, which is the makse ato reisel adas, exa elakah, or that will give rise to and assist, and will even become misachid and botel liosid with the inyan of the Riyas HaMahus of the Nefesh Elokis, and they'll all see, yemot kumtais, that even in the Nefesh Abamiyas and the Guf, there'll also be that Riyas HaMahus mamish of the Nefesh Elokis. Shalidei ha'ayin the Nefesh HaBamiyas, alidei zeh ubchinas ha'ayin v'ariyah the Nefesh Elokis, like we just learned, that by breaking the egos, the clip of the ego, then you get to the Emes Ariyah. Sure? That's how it is. However, v'yesh lema deliosid, meaning b'yomei Mashiach, yeh beguf b'pinas Riyas HaMahus. As he said, liosid, it's going to be mamish in the guf. In other words, Riyah Chushiyas mamish in the guf agashmi. It's going to be the inner for Riyas HaMahus. Uki yadua sheliosid yeh guf. B'chinas oirein seif aseivev v'anishoma tekabel mi'aguf. Im kein tzorich lema shegam b'aguf yeh b'chinas Riyas HaMahus. So we need to understand who's your to it. So l'choira, we have to say that it means like yesh Beklal Mosai Mona. That's a Zaminov. Then if we're going to say that Liosid, the Ike Giloi of Atzmus Elikus Sevu Kol Almin, it's going to be in the Guf. Kidu Mufursa. Bahave Inyanim. And the Neshama is going to be Mekabel from the Guf. Meaning the Neshama B'Shlei Musa. In the highest avodas that the Neshama can have, else and Nefesh Elikis, she's going to be Mekabel from the Guf. If we're going to say that the Guf, if we're going to say that the Neshama has now Riyas HaMahus, Mamish Riyas HaMahus, in Mahus Elikus and Mahus Evatzmosei, then Bevadai the Guf, being as he is, Lios, it's Save of Kol Almin, that this is Bevadai moving that he will have as Amitzot Riyah Mitzad Atzmai. In other words, if we're going to say that the Neshama has now, Alidei the Shvira, Yoidu Ben Anshi Suchit, Alidei the Shvira, Nefesh HaPami, the Neshama has a Riyah Mahusi, and a Riyah Mahus in Mahus Elikus Riyah Mamish, Halachas Kama something which is going to be a mashpia to the Neshama. And why is he going to be a mashpia? Because he's going to be Mamish Etzem Elikus. He's going to be the Gila, save of Kol Almin. Then he will experience Etzem Elikus, just like Etzem Elikus itself will be able to experience Etzem Elikus. In other words, that if the Neshama Li'Eisata can have it, then if the Neshama is going to be Mekabel from the Inyan of Seivu, then moving Upashtas, that the Guf Atzmai is going to have a Inyan for Riyah, but even Naila B'Yesa. That's the Inyan Bedova. What's Lafizah kommt da ist, that Liosid, the Guf and Atzmai saying safe. Lamaila Mipnim Isatik, sort of going to just how he could observe one day other, just like the Ayin Hagashmi is Roya Saguf. How could just like the Ayin Hagashmi sees a Dova Koravilov and a Dova which is Oisa Muhus, and he sees it Bederach Mamela Umaelo Belikol Istadlus for Hulu. But the way it is now, the Neshama Elokis got to have a Stadlus. She's got to be Eila, me, Golas, Kalei Nyonim, and then she sees, and she has all the day Shviras on Nefesh HaPamis for Chulu. But Yosid, if she's anyway the Guf, if Balavo are going to be the Inif and Seive, well, that's the Inif and Mahus Elikus Balavochi. Then her Riyah in Mahus Elikus is going to be being an Oifen from Kiruv, and L'choira be'Oifen Mamela Ume Elo, just like our Riyah Gashmi is, sees a Dova Gashmi, Baliko, Ishtadlus, Ubederach Ma'elo Ume Elo. So that's L'choira what the Rebbe means. If we bow to the Guf will be in our even from there ain't safe. And Neshama Tikabo, im kein Zorik Leume, Shekama Guf, Yebrinus Riyasama, Riyasama and not just Gamma Guf, no, she will be in even Riyasama. What's the Gam? The Gam is that up to now, the only thing that's ever got that far is the Neshama Elokis. And here we're going to have the Guf, where the Guf is so close so far, Yishabas from the Eivishta, and there's going to be a Riyah in Elokus. Mitzat Seive as moving Kamash is a Naila be'etzem minyona. Yesh loim al pi mashkos mochim acher. The Riyah Chushi is Arezel Amaila me Riyah Aseicho. Since we say that the Neshama had the Inif and Riyah saying Aseicho in the Inif and Mahus Elikus, and the rest of and that's what we saw the Maisa from the Arizal V'chulu. Over the type of Riyah that she's going to have Liosid, that she's going to be Mekabel from the Guf, then that's Lamaila Habe from the Inyan from Riyah Saseicho. And Riyah Chushia Shayocha Ba'guf and Nefesh HaPami is Davke. And Nefesh Elokis Tekabel Riyah Zu Mia Nefesh HaPami is. Le'achas Shemizbarer U'Mizdacher Al Yedei Nefesh Elokis Yis Bo Asorer Muchshis Anal. Now, the Nimtzah Lefizeh, that it's a fascinating inyan that all the milas of the Nefesh Elokis with her Riyas HaMahus, and even the Riyas HaMahus that she gets through the Shviras HaKlippa of the Nefesh HaPamiyas, all of that is not Mamish Riyah Chushias mamish in Mahus Elikus. Now this is Ria, we are shaykh in Gan Eden, we are shaykh mitzad the Neshama, as she is a Mahus Eloki, of a Sokos of a Mahus Eloki, which is more than we Gufnias. Now her Indian is what you might call Ruchnias or Elokis. Elokis are this in the van Ruchnias, but not in from Mukshias Gufnias. And the chiddush which occurs even now of it's going to be liosid when she'll be mekabu from the guf, then she will have mamish Ria Chushias, what's moving a little lamailami Rias ein haseichel. And so why is that higher than Rias? Rias ein haseichel. Seichel is ein ruchni mudumi. It's a little bit like the Rambam before his final maskana, what the Rebbe says in one of the Igros in the Gerashtaiman, so then he's not more to say that the infant Chis HaMesim will be Davke Dislapsis, other than Shomar in Gufis Leosid, in the Pirush HaMishnayos over there in Sanhedrin. In Perichel, the Rambam writes that the Ike Gilui of Chis HaMesim will be the Neshama, not in the other guf. And he says, Ki lama levalbo es a neshama, bekishoyei haguf. Why for them levalbo sein the neshama mit the kishoyei haguf. And that's the pshat. Wie Paul is reassign a seichel. Is a gewaltige Sache. It's a rufnisdike Indian. Lechera, I would have thought that that's got miles over Ria Chushis. Because Ria Chushis Sokolsov is, are they a guf? And Sokolsov, was it there? It was it a guf. Therefore, the Rebbe is saying that there's a mile in Ria Chushias, but Frata it's going to be Leozid over the Ria Zaina Aseichel. And look at where Wujid is, that we see that it's the old saying that you can think a heck of a lot davki, that's the way you are lepoil. In other words, you can be go gehoibn and go weg, or when it comes to the Inyonim of the world and the Gufa Dainat Taber, Kitzat Bihis. Bislabtus, Todlo, Halakta, Koladera. All the thing that you see Maria's Chushi and you see the Mohusa in Maria Chushi, then you say, wake up out, I saw it with my own eyes, well, that makes a spur of the man that he can't. It boils on him the etim Mohusim. Mashiach Rias Ein HaSeichel im kol ha-mailas sheyesh b'zeh. That Rias Ein HaSeichel can travel more and be not so movable k'direi HaRambam. Of a sof kosov, the Indian of prayer of the mensch be'etim inyonei, that's it the Indian from Ria Chushia. So Liosid, the hint here is that that's why Liosid, the Ria is going to be an Azaga Hoiben or even, because it's going to have 2 miles. It's going to be Ria Chushia, so Mamel will have all the easy access to the guf, or it will be coming from, so if Kalalmin will be coming from Gora or even the Madrega, and Mamela will have all the miles of Etim, Ha'Re'iyah and the Pura of an Etim Maria Chushis in a Dover, which Ria Sana Seichel would never be able to reach below, even Mahusi. Okay, you do that. Seive was always moved out the Gamri from Hasoke. That's what he means by saying that the Ria Mukha, Ria Chushi is Lamaila for Ria Seina Seichel. That's the Chiddush below. Ria Chushi is Shayah Be'aguf and Ef Shapam is Tavke. And the Chiddush is that these Inyonim will be Mischadish in the Guf and the Ef Shapam is, and the Neshama, Nimtza, what we said before, that the Neshama can be Mekabel from the Shviras on Nefesh Apami is Toisefes Ilui in her Ria Chushiyas, well, that's already Le'ais Ato, Afilo, Polishi Eliosid. Over Eliosid Vibal, and the whole Indian is going to be even Naila, Harvey, Yese, in the etim object of the Ria. The etim object of the Ria is going to be Balavo Hisaver, and that's going to be Misatim with the Gufali, the Ria Chushiyas. I am what verstated how much the Ria Seina Seichel is going to be Mekabel from the Ria Hagu. And that'll be the Ike Hakol. And the Farah said the Rebbe does it, the Indian, where Ria Chushia, Shaka Baguf, and Nefesh Abam is Tavke. And Nefesh is Tekabel, Ria Zu, Mia Nefesh Abam is Leavshet is Baravim is Tachik, Alida Nefesh is, Lia is Boa Soga Mukshis Kanal. That's even now. וכל זה הוא על ידי בחינס חוכמה סתימה, שהיא בחינס חוכמה וידיעה, ומכל מוקים היא בחינס עצמס אין סייב, דהיינו בחינס פנימייס עתיק. And remember, he said, what gives us and what feeds us all these inyanim is chokmas timor. In other words, that chokmas timor, pnimis abahu, pnimis atik, we touched earlier, is chokmas timor, is really pnimis atik. Over them, we saw that chokma is a helem, not a helem, even of a lavusha malim, but helem atmi, mitzad the tzir of chokma, that's kilo matfis, the inyanim in a gewisse tzir, and therefore we don't see the pshitas. And we're not masig, or we're not aware of the pshitas of the inyan from Atik, over alidei, the inyan of the Aveda of the Nefesh Abamis, or alidei what the Nefesh Alki shows the Nefesh Abamis, over the inyanim, or then the Nefesh Abamis is oile into that inyan what she is, literally she sees through that shia, and she's makabel from the inyan from Pnimius Atik, and Mamela, that's going to be poorly osid, particularly into the Nefesh Alakis, ayin from Ria, or Yoter Naila, what that's Ria Kushi is, in Etzem Atzeive Mamish. Amamela, that's the Seder how it goes. Or Ria Kushi Shara Baguf and Nefesh Abamis, and Nefesh Alakis to Kabul Ria Zum, Nefesh Abam, Leachim is Dakek, ועל-ידי הנפש אלוקיס ליד בעשור המוקסיס כנ"ל, וכל זה הוא על-ידי בחינס חוכמה סתימוה, שהוא בחינס חוכמה וידיעה. The tzir which comes לגבינו is חוכמה וידיעה. ומכל מוקים הוא בחינס עצמס אין סייף. דהיינו, the pnimius behind the tzir of חוכמה, דהיינו בחינס פנימיוס עתיק. וליה שהיא בחינס כיסוי שבו. He befines kisui shabo, befines atik misalem. And since there's a kisui, but that's in from chok v'yedia, the in from chok mistima, therefore the Indian of atik is behelem, not in a lavusha malim, but you just don't see it. He befines helem achmi, I befines sosum be etzem. But when we say sosum be etzem, we mean that the etzem is sosum. But dafki because the etzem is sosum, alidei that tzir, then it's possible that miyad, alidei what we're moirid that tzir, that how do you call it, or that becomes mispatel, or then you makabel the sosum be etzem, begoloi mamish. Okay, mizehu dafki p'chinas hahelem shalamata. The miyatik atzmei liya she'ena p'chinas helem kol kach. Commission is boring here. He actually is Bechina Selim because that's what we had earlier, just a few chapters ago, and then it was also mentioned in Kuf Tzadik Beis over there. Well, that's quite a long way back, but we had it just a couple of chapters back, which is going to bring in a second in the next line in Reish Kaf Daled. Over there, we saw that the Indian was that it's a helem atzmi of it's really that the Indian is there, not in a lavusha mailim. Although we saw that's really pnimius atik, but it's in another tzir, like we saw when he get to the Golas, the ava atzmi, so the father expresses itself in another tzir. When he actually says a sharp thing to the son, that's really his ava atzmius mamish. If Amira, the same thing when he get to the Golas, Amira in the inif and the helem is a helem. Achmi is once that helem is niftach as a way, you just go past that helem, or you follow that helem, even that you're moirid the kisui, or then you have the echeminian of pnimius atik mamish. Ki'im alidei shenase, befins chokmas timor, shubchins kisui la atik, shebeseh misalem. And when we use the word misalem, not misalem mamish. V'ahelem hu helem achmi, commission is bully, perek reish kov, Dalit. Okay, mizet davke hu b'chinas hahelem shalamata. That's what we saw the whole Indian of the Golas. Shalidei avida b'helem hazeh boim l'chinas pnimis v'atzmis chokmas ti. Through the helem, the avida with the helem, then we come to the atzmis chokmas ti. And we saw that the avida with the helem was the Indian of davke. The devotion to be Masik Elikus in its highest form, Alidei, Pnimus HaTorah, and also in this Indian we saw the Indian from Ria Mukshis, in the Indian of the Nefesh Abami is and that leads to a Tosefes in the Nefesh Elokis. Now, the whole union of that Helem becomes Misbatel, and then it's Miskala the union for Riyas Amahus Mamish in the Neshama, and eventually that gives rise to the possibility that the Guf can be Mashpia, that Riyah, or even Ha B'nai Liyasa into the Neshama, and that's going to be Li Osid. But Afila Lifnei Li Osid, the Neshama can be Moirid, the Helem, and she can have the union from Riyah Chushias Mamish in Elokus, but Mahus Elokus, even Terem the Isgalas of Liasid, and the Nefesh Abamis, he can have Riyah Chushias in the union from Asolas Amatzias, at the day what the Nefesh Elokis showed him that. So the Kunta is that the Etzim Tafkid of the Neshama in Kamla Mata is to show the Nefesh Abami. Ali they say the Nefesh Abami is Misala, and he goes through his whole Aliyah and the Alinyon, and he breaks his whole Klippa, and that opens up. Then the Neshama has a Sacha, a Fil B'zeh Ha'olam, then she has the union of Riyas Amahus, and that prepares the whole ground for Li Osid. And Mamela Nimtza that the Shvira of that Helem is the Shvira of your own Nefesh Abami. So as I come to is that the Shvira of that Helem is be'etzem the Shvira of your own Nefesh Abahami, yes. But we saw not in our even Shvira that you just hakim avshtike. We saw Alidei your Nefesh Elokis gets to work, and she shows it. Look, even you can have a Sholga Mukshir. You can also be a Achsir Sheyir, and you can see Elokut. Hadikot, the Nefesh Abamis can be Mamish Chosi. And then once he sees Elokut, then the whole the whole clipper breaks open, and the Nefesh Elokis says, "Oh, I don't have to do that anymore." Oh, and she just sees what she's supposed to see, and then the only thing that can possibly be disturbing, I don't know what it is. We're already holding by that already a long time ago. These in Yonim, Ma Mechakim Ma.